I know how disappointed you feel because I feel it too. This is painful, and it will be for a long time.
What I learned is that the Russians were successful. You can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
And let's not forget sexism and misogyny.
There was a lot of sexism and misogyny. There was voter suppression. There was the FBI's intervention. And then there were the Russians. Russian WikiLeaks. Russia.
The Russian interference, and Russians, Putin, the Russians.
The election meant on October 27th, I'd be your president.
I got interested in cleaning my closets and, taking long walks in the woods, things that helped me recover from that loss.
I'm trying to stay in a really positive frame of mind.
I went to the inauguration of Donald Trump, which was one of the hardest days of my life.
Lock her up is still a big popular line.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
The former First Lady would have paid tribute to her late mother had she won.
I dream of going up to her and sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms and saying, "Look at me, listen to me." And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States.
Tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time, Mancow Monday Night Live, wherever better podcasts are found. Larry Elder tonight. That is an A guest. All right. What an idiot. Okay, that's me there. Hi guys, welcome to Mancow Monday Night Live, and I have all kinds of nonsense I want to do, and let's just skip it. We got videos and all kinds of stuff. I want to just go to Larry. Let's bring Larry on. You got an A guest like this, you don't keep waiting. Hey Larry, how are you?
Mancow, thank you so much for having. That's a wonderful montage you put together of Hillary. So I guess
nobody's seen it yet. Did it air yet, Ralph? Was that on?
Yeah, it was on.
Oh, I would have reacted to it. No, I don't think anyone saw it. I think it was just you and me watching it.
I'm the only one who saw it.
Yeah. Well, Ralph, are you there?
It was live.
Oh, people saw. I'm glad I was talking through the whole thing. I wish we would have known so Larry and I could have talked about it. That would have been really great. Well, Larry, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the thing that she said, I have a dream that I'm talking to my mother, and she starts crying because she wasn't the president. And I guess her mother wasn't proud that she became a senator from New York. I guess she wasn't proud that she became the Secretary of State. I guess she wasn't proud she became a First Lady unless she became president. Somehow, my mother wouldn't be proud of me. Mancow, it's just so sad.
Yeah, and I of course remember the hanging chads, and of course Democrats question every election, and now Trump does it, and he's on trial for it. It is it's crazy, and you saw was it Rubio? They said, "Well, no matter what the outcome, will you not question the election?" He goes, "No, I'm not going to make that deal."
Hillary for 4 years referred to Donald Trump as illegitimate, said the election was stolen, and get this: Jay Johnson is Obama's DHS secretary. He testified under oath that while the Russians they failed to change a single vote tally, not one. But there was a YouGov poll in 2018. It turned out 66% of Democrats believe the Russians, quote, changed vote tallies, close quote, in order to get Donald Trump elected. Zero vote tally change, yet a supermajority of Democrats believe otherwise.
I got this from a Moyle, my cigar cutter, and I'm gonna. Are you a cigar smoker?
I am, although I try not to do it before I do a show because it just messes up my throat for 2 or 3 days.
Okay, well, I'm going to ruin my throat here in a second. Look, this is a good night. Let's just start with this. This is a good night for an evening. Larry Elder is here. Larry has a great new book out, which I've read, and a bunch of really bad guys. Their titles are like out of a fictitious horror movie, Supreme Leader. But some real bastards died in Iran, and that's a good thing. Hell has some new demons tonight. So good news on the Mula front. Any thought? Well, you don't need to talk about that. They do say that China and Russia are really pushing these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian influencers, and I can't escape it. I can't imagine this many people are pro-Islamic jihad kookiness, and yet, man, are they shoving it down our throats. So it's more divide and conquer. Do you believe that, Larry? I don't think this is how Americans feel. I don't think most Americans are with Hamas. I'm sorry, go ahead.
President of Iran gets killed in a plane crash. We don't know what the circumstances are. And this guy was called the Butcher of Tehran because he killed so many people. And the Obama administration sends out a letter, sends out a statement of condolences. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Wait, is that true?
Yes. They put out a statement of condolences. Yes. Not fake news, not disinformation.
Wait, Larry. This guy killed thousands of people that were pro-democracy.
Right.
Okay, that were not radical jihadists.
That's right.
And believe that women should be uncovered.
Right.
And you know, these were the people who were killed. I don't think women should have to walk around in a burlap sack in the desert. And what does it tell you about this guy? Man, was he horrible for our country. Holy shit, it all really started with him. Right. And did you spend any time with him, Larry?
Any time with who?
Barack.
I thought you meant with the Butcher of Tehran. No, I just spent very much time with him. We don't really hang out. No, I've never met Barack Obama.
I spent hours with him alone, and I mean he's a Muslim. I'm sorry. I know what Muslims sound like. I know what Christians say. This is a Muslim guy. Obviously, he's upset that the butcher is dead. Holy shiznit! Wow. Okay.
It was Biden that put out the statement. If I said Obama, I meant
Biden.
Sorry,
Biden.
Yeah. Biden put out a statement.
All right. I am gonna. Larry Elder is who is Larry Elder for people that don't know.
Well, according to
how do I introduce you?
According to the LA Times, on the blackface of white succemacy.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Long-time radio host, been on radio for 30 years, New York Times bestseller, had a couple of TV shows, and born and raised in LA. My father was a janitor, cleaned toilets when I was growing up. Started a little restaurant when he was in his 40s, which he ran until his 80s. My dad never knew his biological father. My last name, Mancow Elder, is not the last name of my father's father. He never met his father. He doesn't even know who his father is. A guy named Elder was in his life the longest. His mother was illiterate. Had a series of boyfriends she lived off of, and Elder was in his life the longest, but he left a long time ago. My dad comes home at the age of 13, Mancow, and he starts quarreling with his mom's then boyfriend. Mom sides with the boyfriend and throws my father out of the house, never to return. Black boy, 13 years old, at the beginning of the Great Depression, Jim Crow South, Athens, Georgia. He ended up becoming a Pullman porter on the trains, which is why we ended up in California. He came to California one time on a run, and he couldn't believe you could walk to the front door of a restaurant and get served. So he made a mental note that maybe someday he'll relocate to California. Pearl Harbor, my dad joined the Marines. He became a Montford Point Marine. They were the first Black Marines, served on the island of Guam. War is over. He goes to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he married my mom to get him a job as a cook, and nobody would hire him because he says, we don't hire N-words. This is your show, so I can say it. They said, we don't hire niggers. My dad goes to the unemployment office. The lady said, you went to the wrong door. My dad sees colored only and goes to that door to the very same lady who set him out. My dad came home to my mom and said, this is BS. I'm going to LA where I was before the war, get me a job as a cook. He comes out to LA, he walks around for 2 or 3 days, and they say, I'm sorry, you have no references. My dad said, I need references to make ham and eggs. He offered to work for free to get a reference. They still wouldn't do that. So we ended up working 2 full-time jobs, cleaning toilets, cook for a family on the weekend because they wanted my mom to be a stay-at-home mom. Went to night school at night to get his GED, and then went to night school to learn how to operate a restaurant, which is why he started a little restaurant in his 40s. My dad was a lifelong Republican, Mancow, and he told my brothers and me the following: hard work wins. You get out of life what you put into it. You cannot control the outcome, but you are 100% in control of the effort. Before you moan or groan or what somebody did to you or said to you, go to the nearest mirror, look at it, and ask yourself, what could I have done to change the outcome?
Larry, I and I'm sure a lot of whiteys say this to you, but I hate that race is brought into our conversation. I really do, and I cannot escape it. And I have to tell you, our last conversation, which was wonderful, and I heard a lot of good comments from people that are watching. But I said, look, my musical heroes are all white, and you said, what about Smokey Robinson? And I thought, God, does Larry think I'm a bad guy now? That I like Peter Gabriel and Ray Davies of the Kinks and Billy Corgan of the Pumpkins and people like this. And you said, what about that I love Smokey. Have I talked to you since I saw Smokey?
You have not.
Man, lots of bumping and grinding, really creepiness. I think he's edging towards 90 now, and a lot of a lot. But I mean, the guy still got it. He still has it. All right. Let's. Yeah.
Can he still sing?
Yes. I mean, Smokey is God, right? Small G. So okay. So Larry Elder and I are buddies. He's a radio guy. I was a radio guy. What else I wanted to talk about? So much stuff. Anyway, I loved on your show the trivia. I would listen to you as I went into WLS. You were on what station were you on? The Salem station here. What's that? The Score? No, the Answer. What was it called?
Yeah, the Answer.
Okay, so I would listen to you, and your brother was on, God rest his soul, and so I feel like I know Larry, and people that listen to my show for years felt like they know me, which is always weird, but it's a different thing, right, Larry? So different from this even. The average commute in Chicago is 2 hours, and so I would spend an hour and a half with you, and I felt like, and your brother's on, and I felt like I know he's my buddy, my co-pilot, right, sitting right next to Jesus in the car with me. This invisible friend that's with me. So I mean, I'm kind of stupid when it comes to you. But anyway, let's. I love the trivia part. I want to do trivia before we say goodbye. It'll be quick. I wanted to, before we get into politics and all this stuff, there's a lot to talk about. I'll do a little bit of trivia with it. Who is Sam Jones?
The basketball player?
No, he is a football player, fictitious, in the movie Flash Gordon. Who is Fred Dreyer?
I never saw Flash Gordon. Fred Dreyer is a football player and an actor.
All right. Frank Stallone, what's he famous for?
That song
Far From Over.
Yeah.
And of course some of the Rocky music. And he's in the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell that people forget.
Sly Stallone's brother.
Yeah. And Jude Cole, the songwriter. So all those people I'm trying to put together a dinner, and you included when I come to LA at Mr. Chow. Do you like that place?
Sounds good. Great place.
Well, I want to do it. Maybe we'll bring Mike Horn too, another friend of ours, a wine guy, radio guy.
There's a really good documentary about Mr. Chow.
I saw it, and boy, I will tell you, I did not like him at all after that.
Really?
I really disliked the guy after seeing that. I mean, I don't want to support the place, but it's fun. I got to go. I've been going forever. Two good-looking gentlemen, says Michael Webdell. Thank you, Michael. Anyway, my point is, Larry, I hesitate. You and I should do something different, because if we go with Frank Stallone, it's the Frank Stallone show, and he's right of us.
Yeah,
he agrees with everything we say, but we won't be able to talk. Okay,
yeah, I've been around him a few times. He can suck up some of the air out of a room, no question about it.
No, and I mean, it'll be a late drunken night, which could be fun.
Yeah,
but I want to hear from you, and I want to hear from. Okay, all right, love you, Frank. Okay, so let's talk about Morehouse College. You know what I want to talk about. Yeah. You take it.
Well, Biden goes there yesterday, Sunday, to give a commencement exercise, and of course, out comes a race card. And he tells these kids who are graduating, these men who are graduating, that the number one threat to the homeland, of course, is black supremacy. And get this, he says—
White supremacy. You said black.
White supremacy.
Yeah.
And get this, he said for you to make it, you have to be 10 times better than anybody else. 10 times. So assuming you work a full job, 40 hours a week, that means in order for you to have the same shot, as he put it, you have to work 400 hours a week. You don't have time to eat, sleep, use the restroom, 400 hours a week in order to have the same shot as anybody else, says Joe Biden. And of course, he brings up George Floyd. However you feel about George Floyd, about what Officer Derek Chauvin did, there is zero evidence that Derek Chauvin was motivated to treat George Floyd the way he treated him because of his race. The trial was televised. The lead prosecutor was a black man.
Yeah.
And in his opening statement, he took pains to say the police in general are not on trial. The Minneapolis PD in general is not on trial. This individual was on trial for what this individual did or didn't do. And he never even implied that Derek Chauvin was motivated because of George Floyd's race. Chauvin was never charged with a hate crime. Yet you had 4 months of protests in the streets of America beginning in May of 2020. 25 people killed, 2,000 officers injured, $2 billion of property damage, all because of an assumption, even though it was never made, that what happened to George Floyd had to do with his race. Let me tell you how bad it is. There's a website called policemag.com, Mancow. In 2019, they asked people that were self-described as very liberal, how many unarmed black men did the police kill in 2019? 50% of the self-described very liberal people thought the police killed 1,000 unarmed black men in 2019, and 8% of them thought they killed 10,000. Now, what about regular liberal? 39% of them thought the police killed 1,000 unarmed black men in 2019. 5% thought they killed 10,000. The answer, according to the Washington Post database, 12. And the police kill more unarmed white men every year than they kill unarmed black men. They kill more white men every year than black men. It is a lie that the police are mowing down black people just because they're black. It's a flat out lie, yet Biden said it both at Morehouse and also at last year at Howard.
How many black men did black men kill last year?
Tell me
those numbers are. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
How about just one weekend in Chicago? This last weekend, 45 people shot, mostly in black areas of Chicago.
And none. Look, I support the cops right now. My new charity, which I haven't announced, is to get them helmets. They don't have helmets. They don't have bulletproof helmets. They basically are wearing bike helmets, but that's another show. Yeah. But they're and nothing's getting solved. And of course, Kim Fox, the Soros placement. It's it's revolving door. Nobody goes to jail. Larry, once in a lifetime, a really great man will come into someone's life. And I want to just tell you, I'm really happy to be in your life.
Wow.
I'm being silly. I'm being stupid. Okay. No, it's just.
By the way, Mancow, I started a PAC called the MakeAmericaJustAgain.org to get rid of these soft on crime George Soros ideas in your city.
Put it up. Put it up, Nudie. Put up the site.
MakeAmericaJustAgain.org. Throw something in the tip jar. And I'm urging states to set up commissions of retired judges, retired DAs, so they can hear cases of people who are on the streets, who shouldn't be on the streets, mowing down innocent people. So we got to get rid of these soft on crime George Soros backed DAs. So MakeAmericaJustAgain.org. Put it up.
Put it up. We'll put it up. And there's Larry's book, As Goes California. Yeah, there you go. Great book. Larry, is being illegal, is that a race? Is crime a race? How did this become a race thing? You commit a crime, go to jail. You're here illegally. You've got to go. This is not based on race.
It's designed to get that monolithic black vote without which the Democrat Party cannot win. They have not won the white vote since 1964. They win by telling minorities that America is systemically racist. The man is out to get you. And by the way, in that fight for social justice, we wear the white hat, and those bastards over there, they wear the black hat. That's what this is all about.
Larry, is that true? What you just said? No, I'm not kidding you. No, wait. No, I know you think I'm pulling your leg. Are you telling me the Democrats haven't won the white vote in elections since 64?
1964, they've lost the white vote. Yes.
And no. That forgive me. Once in a while, I feel like I know everything. We're radio hosts. We have to act like we know everything. You're telling me the Democrats have not. So if you remove African Americans from the equation,
lost the white vote every election since 1964. I kid you not.
I never knew that stat. Wow. No, I just back to Morehouse College, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because it's race. Here we go again. But there's so much there, and of course, Hillary. I don't feel no ways tired, and the advertisements. Of course, this is all we get now. But I always thought, McDonald's, they're playing basketball. I'm talking about when I was a kid. They're like when it's an advertisement for black people. They're playing basketball with the sandwiches and yo, and it's just so stupid. Everything is so dumbed down for the black culture, and I thought, aren't they insulted? And now, of course, everything is stupid as shit. And forgive my language, and I can curse here on the show. I don't like to. Larry, how about Arby's? We got the meats. I mean, this is offensive to me. The Subway ad, my hand on the Bible, I can't understand what. Yeah, man, just gibberish. Forget color. Is it insulting? No, seriously, is it insulting to you? We got the meats.
I happen to like the Arby's commercial. The actor that does that is that guy that's in the Mission Impossible movies. What's his name? The black
Ving Rhames.
Yeah, that's.
I like it. I like Ving Rhames and I like Arby's. I hate. We got the meats.
What I hate far more than that is Joe Biden saying I was raised in the black church. Joe Biden saying when I was 18 years old, I desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Delaware. New York Times said he didn't do any of that, and that his aides gently reminded him to stop saying it, and he kept saying it anyway. I'm much more bothered by him saying that I was arrested in apartheid South Africa trying to visit Nelson Mandela. Zero evidence of that. That's the kind of stuff
how about in front of the Polish people? He was saying, I wish I had an SKI at the end of my name. I mean, it's just nonstop with this guy.
Well, Barack Obama was the first clean, articulate African American.
Yes. Wow. All right. So, DEI, the Facebook gatekeeper for DEI, is going to jail for 5 years for stealing over $5 million. DEI is just going to be, it's just horrible. We should hire people based on their skills. Obviously, on the radio, it didn't matter what color you were, Larry. It didn't matter what color I was. I had people of all types that loved me, and you too. What do you think of the DEI thing?
Mancow, how about that Kansas City Chiefs kicker?
I was going there.
Where he talks about his religious faith, and he's pro-life. And the NFL director of diversity puts out a statement saying he doesn't speak for us. A league has 70% black people, and there's a director of diversity?
I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. Since 2000, 129 cases of wife beating and domestic abuse, 120 assault and battery cases. Right. This is NFL players, and a few murders and homicides. But Butker, Harrison Butker, the Chiefs, is the villain. He's the bad guy. I mean, we are living in a bizarro world, man. And then that just. Larry, forgive me, but I've always hated. Look, he was very nice to me. Played a lot of his music. There's a guy named Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, and he plays himself off like a real Chicago and all this. He comes once in a while to get photographed at a Cubs game. It's all bullshit. This is not a Chicago guy. And I'm Chicago, and he comes and he plays up to the media. He played up to me, and I never bought it. I don't buy it. I know what a Chicagoan is. I am a Chicagoan. Billy Corgan is the real deal. He actually is a Chicagoan. He goes to games. This guy shows up to a concert or a game once or twice a year, and anyway, he did. Did you see Eddie Vedder's rant against Butker in concert?
I didn't.
Real men back women, not like this kicker Butker. But and then if you just want to make it simple, who cares what the kicker? I'm with Butker, and but who cares what a kicker has to say? Can we be honest?
I remember there was one Super Bowl where this black kid, commercial for I think it was Chase. He said, because of my race, the average white person my age makes $10,000 more a year than I make for doing exactly the same work. Now, if I'm a racist white employer, I can hire a black guy to do the same work and pay him $10,000. Hey, whitey, you're all fired.
Yeah.
White people, you're fired. It's BS. It's
right.
not.
Yeah. And we keep getting fed it, right? We just keep getting fed the lie. And do you know that 1 out of 3 Biden voters, you gave me a stat, I'm going to give you a stat, Larry. This might shock you. Do you know that 1 out of 3 Biden supporters is just as stupid as the other 2? There you go. A fact. Biden too stupid to stand trial, but we're letting him run. We're letting him run our country.
Heard it on the Mancow show. You heard it.
Yes. We started to become a third world country under Obama. It hasn't gotten better. We had a brief reprieve with Trump. I was thinking about this with Trump, and it's we had cheap gas, we had cheap food, we had energy independence. We didn't have to rely on these jihadist bastards. No war. And this was just some guy, right? This is a businessman. And it kind of confirms what guys like you and I always thought. Like, get the politicians out and let's see what happens. And yes, he didn't handle himself like a politician. He acted like a businessman. He was crass at times. This is a New York builder. This is a New York building man. He ran casinos. I get it that he was crass sometimes. And, he made fun of LeBron. Oh, God. Oh, poor LeBron. And now we have runaway inflation. We have wars everywhere. We're in World War III. You need a second mortgage to get gas. Politicians really have messed things up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As crass as Donald Trump was, he wasn't getting BJs in the Oval Office. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Maybe he was. What do you
Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broderick alleged that she was raped by Bill Clinton. Nobody talks about that, but Donald Trump sends out a bad tweet. Oh my God, he's undermining the integrity of the Oval Office. Really?
And what he said was true, by the way, and we don't need to go into it. But Larry, what is look, I had my time with him, and he's anti-West, he's anti-imperialism, he's anti-everything that America is. But and my wife says, well, look, Obama lives here, he has children, the Bidens live here, and it's why would a serial killer do that? What you're really saying is I couldn't imagine that. I can't imagine acting like Obama. I can't imagine being like Biden. But these guys are highly paid off, in my opinion, by the Chinese and other sources. They do not care. But am I missing something, Larry? What created it? I mean, I know what his background is. I know what his real background is. What creates that kind of hatred, and what is their end plan?
It's all about power. I was in Boston in 2004 when this funny looking guy, skinny guy with big ears, funny name named Barack Obama, introduced John Kerry. There's no blue America. There's no red America. There's no black America. There's no white America. He brought the house down. Fast forward, He's now running for president, and he's being interviewed by 60 Minutes. And Steve Croft said, Senator, if you don't win, will it be because of race? And Obama said, no. It will be because I've not articulated a view that the American people can embrace. I said, hallelujah. He walked into the Oval Office, and polls show that both blacks and whites thought race relations would get better. When he left, both blacks and whites thought it got worse. Why? For 8 years, race card after race card after race card. From the Cambridge police acting stupidly, if I had a son, he looked like Trayvon, embracing Black Lives Matter, had Al Sharpton in the White House over 70 times, race card after race card after race card. And he made things worse. Why? Because, again, they want to get black people angry, so they go in there like lemmings and pull that lever to the tune of 95% for the Democratic Party. That's their entire agenda. Obama knows it's BS. He knows America's not systemically racist. How in the world could he have gotten elected, let alone reelected? How did he become president of the Harvard Law Review? How did he have a white girlfriend, as he wrote about in his book, who was from a prominent family, and they embraced him? He dumped her because he wanted to run for politics and felt she would be a liability. He knows it's a lie, but he says it anyway because he wants the Democratic Party to retain power. I don't know how the man sleeps at night. I really don't.
I spent some time with Michael Jackson. Insert joke here, but I did hit radio in San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and spent some time with the man. And very smart guy. And then when his records didn't sell, it was racism. And I just who believes this? And I always think of, I'm sure I told you this before, I think of Halle Berry, who was abandoned as a child. And I knew Halle Berry. I actually knew Dave Justice for a time in Atlanta when he was with her. She got everything. She's a beautiful woman, and she's up there crying. And there's her white mother that didn't abandon her, and she did it all for black people. And Obama, it's all about black people. Wait a minute. His black father was what, a quick squirt and run? And yet, the people that raised him, I just don't, why always identify by race? Is it just for political gain, Larry?
How about Kaepernick? Kaepernick was raised by white people, and all of a sudden, he's now Malcolm X. I mean, what is this all about?
Go ahead.
We have a reparations panel out here in California. Now, on Obama's side, on his mother's side, there were slave owners, and his father was raised in Kenya. There was a hotbed of slavery. So when we have reparations, is Obama going to cut a check, or is he going to get a check? I can't quite figure this.
That's right. That's right. No, and I just think about the end of Malcolm X's life. He rejected all of that radical Islam and became a Christian and rejected all of it. And of course, got a bullet for it. And the same thing with Bob Marley. I love this movie where he's Rastaman, and at the end of his life, he was full on Christian and rejected much of that Haile Selassie mentality. Of course, they never put that in any of the movies.
Notice how these young black kids who embraced Malcolm X ignore that part of his life. I gave a speech some years ago at a high school, and a bunch of kids had Malcolm X T-shirts that said "by any means necessary." And I said, "Do you ever read the autobiography of Malcolm X?" And they said, "No." I said, "Read the last chapter. He renounced everything that you guys think he stands for." Yeah.
Hey, I was wrong about separation of everything, and I'm really following Jesus now, and we got to love each other. And bang. Yep. That's what the Nation of Islam did to him.
In that movie, the autobiography of Malcolm X, Spike Lee movie, this white co-ed comes up to him and says, Mr. X, all of us white people are not like that. Is there anything we can do? What can I do to help? He said, nothing. At the end of the book, he recalls that exchange, and he said he regretted it. He regretted the way he treated her. But nobody talks about that part. They want to keep him angry because that's a narrative that they want to push.
$30 an hour. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Today, just before we went on, Larry, California is saying they're going to raise minimum wage to $30. $30 an hour.
We just went up to 20 on April the 1st. And
30 soon.
And by the way, the day when Gavin Newsom signed the bill, Pizza Hut laid off 1,200 drivers. And according to an economist at UCLA, 9,500 people have lost their jobs since the minimum wage went up to $20 an hour on April the 1st. I cannot imagine the damage if it goes up to 30.
Well, it just, the robots can't take over quick enough. They can't get rid of human beings quicker. I don't know who's running things, but they don't love humanity. They don't care about mankind. Larry, I saw John Edwards for the first time many years ago, and I went, well, that's he's going to be a president. He scared the crap out of me. Mm-hmm. I have no real reference sitting in the United States. You went against the man. You know the man. Newsom is a level of, And I have a sixth sense, man. I was right about, Larry, and I know you feel the same way. We do these radio shows. We get such hatred. And then we're right about all this stuff. And none of these people ever call back and say, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten 5 of the poisons. Nobody ever, nobody's ever said, wow, you were right. And I fought tooth and nail with people. And I've been right. And when I feel things in my gut and in my soul, I'm not wrong. Anyway, where am I going with this? My spidey sense has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with politics, anything. I have Democratic friends, as you do, I'm sure. But everything was off the Richter scale when it came to Newsom. I don't think this is a level of scumbag I don't think we've ever. By the way, do you know that scumbag, Larry, I'll tell you something. Scumbag means nothing to us. Scumbag means nothing. Do you know that when you do radio in New York, scumbag is a real offensive word to the New Yorkers? This is true. Do you know what a scumbag is?
I never really thought about it. I know
it's a used condom.
Okay.
And it's like, there's things like Robbie Williams came and did my show and he said the F word and everything. I'm like, you can't say that. He's like, well, we can in England. What? He goes, but if I say bloody, it's a big deal in England.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other words. Anyway, where am I going with this? I've never felt anything more demonic than Newsom. And I'm not kidding you.
Well, that's why.
What do you think about what I'm saying?
That's why I wrote my book, As Goes California, my mission to rescue the Golden State and save the nation. See, people are leaving California. We've lost about 1 million people in the last 3 years. They go to Texas, they go to Florida, and often they go there and they bring their same left-wing politics with them that cause them to leave California because they haven't connected dots.
Go to Austin.
The reason the price of a home in California costs twice as much as it does outside of California is because of the way the left-wing Democrats, they've been running the state for decades, are in bed with the green people that don't want any kind of construction. The reason crime is so high, you got people like Gavin Newsom supporting things like Proposition 47 and Proposition 57. People talk about 47, meaning you can steal up to $950, and then if you get caught, you treated a misdemeanor. That's not the biggest part. The biggest part is you can now do crack and meth on the streets, and the cops can no longer say either you get off the street, go to jail, or go to rehab. They've taken the other option of going to jail off, and Proposition 57 has lowered a bunch of categories of crime from violent offenses to non-violent offenses. Now, rape of an intoxicated victim is now a non-violent offense. Serial arson is now a non-violent offense. Attack on a police officer is now a non-violent offense because of a proposition that Gavin Newsom supported. And then we have a panel on reparations in California. California wasn't even a slave state. And now we got a reparations panel? Are you kidding me? He's banned the sale of gas-powered cars by the year 2035. He's banned the sale of gas-powered leaf blowers and gas-powered lawnmowers. This is what this man does. This is why so many people are leaving the state. And the budget has gone from $100 billion surplus to probably a $70 billion deficit. We have a huge unfunded pension liability. I think the only state that rivals us in terms of having an unfunded pension liability is Illinois.
Yeah, you better believe it. You better believe it. Larry, I remember being there, and people that haven't been to LA will know it from the Terminator 2 movie where he drives through the ravines with the motorcycle and how deep those are and how massive they are. And they're all over and they were overflowing with water. And I said to my buddy, Mike Horn, I said, Mike, our mutual friend, I said, Mike, the water problem's over. He goes, no, it all goes to the ocean. The environmentalists won't let us collect water. What?
That's right.
I mean, this is why people have AstroTurf yards. Yeah.
Half of it goes right into the ocean. There hasn't been any significant infrastructure building for storage of water in about 40 years when the state is almost half the size it is right now. We passed propositions to set up all this stuff, and then lawsuit after lawsuit to stop it by these environmentalists. So it's insane.
Do you ever go to that? What's that great, but what's that? Where was the French dip invented in LA?
Don't know.
Downtown. What's that called?
Oh, the original pantry?
No, I know that place. Yeah. You ever go to the Pie House?
I don't think so.
That's where Tarantino and DiCaprio used to hang all the time. I can't believe it. Philippe's.
I hang out with a different crowd.
Philippe's. Have you been to Philippe's downtown?
I don't think so.
The French dip sandwich, one of the great creations that was made there. Okay, so I asked people.
I've been to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle House.
The chicken, yeah. Come on, I'll tell you, I went there with. Are you ready for this? I went there with the Fat Boys. You don't know what that is?
The rap group?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they took chicken and waffles and eggs and pancakes and hash browns, and they emptied a bottle of ketchup on it, and they took a knife and they stirred it up, and it was so disgusting. I said, guys, I'll see you. And they said, what are you talking about? I said, your manners. You're making me sick. I'm sorry. And they said, we keep it real. I said, you keep it real shitty. And they said, no, man, we keep it real ghetto. And I said, well, whatever it is, it's disgusting. And the record person was like, oh, Mancow, come back.
Mancow, did you taste it?
No. Chicken, waffles, delicious. Everything stirred up with mustard, covered with they also had maple syrup, and it was just a big sloppy mess. And these fat, I think the people called the Baker Boys were there. It was just disgusting. All right, so Larry, trivia questions that the audience sent in for you. Okay.
All right.
Okay, from Instagram earlier. Tampon or pad?
Pass.
What is the show me state?
Missouri.
Yeah. Taipei is the capital of what country?
Taiwan.
Name one Muslim country that wants the Palestinians.
None.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about that one. Who was the most talented Marx brother?
I think Groucho.
We would have to. You lost that one.
Really? You think Chico?
No, Zeppo, brother.
Zeppo was the least well known one, but Chico was amazing. He was a self-taught harp player.
The way he played. No, you're saying Harpo, which is who I think is the most talented. Chico was the piano player.
He's the one that played the Italian and played piano. Yeah, I meant Harpo, and he's self-taught. And I don't know. I don't play the harp, but someone told me that he plays it backwards, plays it the wrong way.
Right. He didn't know what he was doing.
Didn't know what he was
and
doing.
It was magnificent. Who was this is mine. Who was the funniest stooge?
Curly.
I think it changes.
Well,
I think the more you watch it, I think sometime watch Larry sometime and get the gene.
Curly was the sweetest. He was the most popular.
Yeah.
And
by far.
I'm talking about Curly Joe. I'm talking about Curly.
I know. Ghislaine Maxwell in jail. Jizzy found guilty of trafficking, children trafficking, human trafficking. Why have none of the Johns been named and arrested?
Money. They've got power. And you're probably not going to we don't even know who they are, right? Has the list even been released of all the people that were there? Yeah.
Trump kicked him out of his club. Trump told everybody that would listen before anything happened that this was a bad guy, stay away from him. And anytime they show a picture of Epstein, they have to show Trump with him. The one guy, right? Of course, the prince comes back after he's in trouble, after he's convicted, hangs out with him. The prince.
That's right.
And I also believe personally this is why Bill Gates got left by his wife, right?
That's possible.
Did she kind of hint to that, or did I miss that?
Or maybe she just got sick of him.
Elon says this is our last American election. That we better do it now.
I think if Trump loses, I would agree with that. Joe Biden has called him a fascist and a dictator. He bragged when he was at Morehouse that the Supreme Court said that what he was doing with student loan forgiveness was unlawful. And hey, we figured out two other ways of getting around the Supreme Court. He bragged about that. He even said one time, Nancy Pelosi did, that the president lacked the authority for all this granting of legal status. And Obama did it anyway with the so-called DACA program. And Obama wants to, and Biden wants to extend that. These people are acting like dictators.
I'm going to be hanging out with Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors in LA. Do you have any interest in that?
Not really.
I'm talking about the $6 million man, Larry.
I know who he is.
So you've got so much money now because of those Salem contracts. $6 million means nothing to you now.
Yeah, he should at least hit 10.
Did you hear about the guy sitting on his girl? He says, I'm a politician and an honest man. She said, well, I'm a prostitute and a virgin. Thank you. All right. My next live show is going to be June 17th. Are you glad you did the show tonight?
I'm very glad I did the show tonight.
We had an issue, but we're cool. Okay. All right.
Actually, I'm already regretting it.
You've already regret. Okay. All right. Well, is there a TV show? Is there a radio show? Is there anything you want to mention? The book, the website Ralph never put up, but go ahead.
I have a blog. I do a weekly show called Larry Elder, We've Got a Country to Save. It's pinned to the top of my Twitter account. You can also go to YouTube and just type in Larry Elder, We've Got a Country to Save. It's also on Rumble, anywhere you get your podcast. And we're averaging between 250,000 and about 400,000 views every week on the podcast.
Did you get treated fairly in your election with Newsom, or do you think there was cheating?
I think there's always cheating, but in California, we are outnumbered. We mean registered Republicans are outnumbered 3-1. There hasn't been a Republican who's won statewide in California in 20 years. They don't need to cheat.
Did you, do you think Trump won the last election?
I think the 2020 election was unfair. He lost his lawsuits. And so I agree that Mike Pence should have certified the election the way he did. But Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all sorts of shenanigans, the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story, the BS Russia collusion thing for 2.5 years. There were all sorts of things that were completely and totally unfair that were done to Donald Trump. So I have no problem with him quarreling about the outcome of the election. And we talked about how Hillary's been running around referring to Donald Trump as illegitimate, saying he stole the election for all these years. Trump says the same thing, and all of a sudden he's a fascist.
Insurrectionist.
Yes.
Insurrectionist.
Insurrectionist.
Think he'll win?
Yes.
Do you think Biden will be? See, I'm here in Chicago. They're terrified of how bad Chicago's going to look. Now they're saying it's going to be maybe a Zoom convention or some nonsense. The debate, boy, we should mention that quickly. I mean, can you believe that Biden gets to pick the moderators and the questions? No audience, and you're not allowed to interrupt Joe Biden. Now, I was a debater in college, a master at it, and I'm telling you, this is what a scam the first debate is.
I still don't believe that they're going to debate. I think Biden has some way of getting out of it. Already, Donald Trump said, "I want you to take a drug test," and I think Biden will use that as an excuse not to do it.
I am with you, but here's where I'm going, and I interrupted myself. That's how bad I've gotten, Larry. The convention, I don't believe it. I don't believe they're going to go with Biden. I think Newsom's going to step up at the convention. Some are saying J.B. Pritzker. You think Biden's the candidate?
Oh yeah, and if not Biden, it'll be Kamala Harris, because she's a black female. Blacks are the most loyal part of the Democratic base, and they will be PO'd if Biden can't make it, and she's drop kicked, especially for some white dude like Gavin Newsom. No, they're stuck with her.
Larry, do you think? I mean, I'm terrified of them just because it's a level of evil I haven't seen. Do people buy it? Do you think people buy?
No. Look.
Buy Newsom? Do you think people are able to see through it?
What people don't buy is paying $1,200 a month more for the same goods and services as they bought 2.5-3 years ago. And Gavin Newsom is not offering any alternative. If you're unhappy with gas prices, this guy is a more extremist on climate change than Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't outlaw the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035, but Gavin Newsom has. Gavin Newsom is more of an open borders guy than Joe Biden is. California is a sanctuary state. Whatever issue you're unhappy with, Gavin Newsom will throw gasoline on it. So there's there's no cavalry that'll come to rescue Joe Biden. If he cannot make it, it'll be Kamala Harris. She wants to be president. And by the way, she's undefeated. She ran for DA in the Bay Area. She won. She ran for AG out here. She won. Re-election, she won. She ran for senator. She won. She ran for VP, and she won. She's never lost when she's been on the ballot. So she doesn't think she's a loser. And this business about her cackle, the black media believes that the ridicule that people are hammering her about her cackle is both sexist and racist, and they believe that Biden has given her thankless tasks like getting to the root causes of illegal immigration when the root cause is Joe Biden. So if she's not on the ticket, black females will be so pissed off.
Wow.
They won't vote Republican. They just won't vote, thereby guaranteeing that Donald Trump not only wins, but wins in the landslide. They can't afford that. They are stuck with Kamala Harris. Take that to the bank, Mancow.
I'm taking it to the bank. I spent time with Willie Wilson. Kamala was around years ago when I did radio in California. Willie was a party. I was a young man. He was a party. Did you ever spend it? What's that?
Willie Brown.
I'm sorry. What did I say?
Willie Wilson.
Willie Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who that is. Willie Brown.
Yeah. I brought. Do you know who Harold Wilson is?
Yeah.
He was the prime minister after Churchill.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I helped bring him to. I was one of the guys and hosted him. I don't want to overstate my power, but I helped host him in Missouri. I would book guests and help get guests, and spent a lot of time with him. And now, I guess he was up there with Epstein. He was that kind. He was into the kids, and so is Rolf Harris. You remember Tie Me Kangaroo Down?
No.
Tie Me Kangaroo Down. Sport, huge children's star in Australia. And Yeah, he liked kids. Really sick stuff. Okay.
Pee Wee Herman had a bunch of kiddie porn, as I understand it. Got busted with a bunch of kiddie porn.
I thought if that's true, which I don't know, but he was a genius. He was a genius.
He was brilliant. But he had demons.
I just want to love a celebrity that doesn't. You know what, Larry? You'll be my celebrity that doesn't have sex with children. Okay? All right. What fun? What fun? All right, Larry. We'll take. I'm going to look you up in California. Hope you and me and Horny can get together. Mike, okay? All right, brother. Thank you. God bless you. Let's keep each other in prayer. Okay. So that was fun, huh? That was good. I like to do a little bit of nonsense before, and I hope Larry doesn't hear this, Ralph, so hang up on him. Not that I'm going to say anything bad, but I don't want him to hear the nonsense part of the show. Daniel Aragoni from Saigon Sisters, the best fa. I said faux. He says fa. The best fa in Chicago. Gave me this cigar, so thank you, Daniel. He also goes to St. Cantius, the Catholic church I go to. And I go to evangelical churches, too. I got in a fight with somebody about Billy Corrigan, and I never do this, and I never speak for him. And I hope he never finds out about it, because I don't ever like to do that. And someone just was shooting their mouth off that he's a Satanist, and they know. And I talk to the man almost every day. And look, I'm an evangelical that became a Catholic when I saw just horrific things, which will all be in my new book called Bitter Harvest. So I have had a weird path with Christ, and as has Billy. His is different than mine, but he is no Satanist. It's just nonsense. And some of the videos he did, when he was 20, they're kind of dark, man. Yeah, they are. They are. Okay, so let me just do this quickly. Do you know what this is? Still popular in Japan. Do you remember this when we were kids? Manchichi, he can play Atari. This is not mine, by the way. It's my wife's. A few more minutes. Oh, I got these at Benny's. Tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich flavored cheese puffs. And I went back in, and the staff said, "How are they?" Nope, we haven't had the guts to try them. I went back, and they're just stupid great. Okay, we're almost ending. Now, I know from working at Q101, Rock 103.5, WLS, stations in New York, Kansas City, Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, created Wild 107. I know that, and I've had 800 people in what's called an auditorium test, and they didn't know I was watching them. And the minute I say the word book, click, they go to the next station. The word book is a turnoff to Americans because many people are so fargan stupid. So I hope you're not that stupid. It's going to be 30 seconds, and I'm going to end. Although I don't get ratings for this, and I don't get paid, so who really gives a shit if you want to turn this off? But weird scenes inside the canyon, and this is the Doors. It's the Monkees. It's Zappa. It's James Taylor, Crosby, Stills, Nash. It's all of that music scene. Much of it I love, and their connection to the government, and how the government infiltrated the hippie movement, and how they used it to rip America apart. Very fascinating. This is I'm going to have him on the show. This is Erwin Lutzer. Moody was his deal. If you haven't read this, 1 minute after you die, what happens? Maybe you've lost a loved one who got or the turbo cancer, this mysterious turbo cancer. Where does it come from? I know. Don't you? Where are all these cancers and weird deaths coming from? This book changed my life. I guess it's gonna be quick. Begin to choose happiness. When you open your eyes in the morning, say to yourself, this is going to be a great day. When you go to bed, say it's going to be a great night and a great day. And you rewire yourself, and how to rewire yourself. And I wrote this probably when I was 16. Dr. Murphy, this is a Bible, man. If you're always thinking negative, and I'm headed back there. Cynicism is horrible, but Joseph Murphy, Dr. Murphy, yeah, the power of the subconscious mind, you can rewire your mind. And every time, if you had a father that was abusive or a mother or the love of your life broke your heart and you get negative, you can rewire your brain. And I did it and it works. And I come from horrific abuse. I really do. And I didn't realize it until I had children. It's just brothers being brothers. An 18-year-old beating up an 8-year-old till he's bleeding, smashing his head on a cement floor. That's normal. That's what brothers do. They go to the bathroom on each other. They have girls come in and have sex with them in their bed. They have sex with women in their bed, in your bed when you're 8 and 10 years old. That's what brothers do, man. It's no sick shit, man. And this helped me rewire my brain against the devils. Put me in a folding couch, inside a couch, and sat on it during Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again. 2 movies. And I just every second, just trying to stay alive. Calm down, stay alive. It's just brothers being brothers. Many times an 18-year-older will beat the shit out of an 8-year-older until his head's like hamburger, man. Just beat that. That's what brothers do, man. And then I looked at my 8-year-olders and went, wow, that's some sick ass shit they did to me, man. God forgive them. That's a one-way ticket to. I love your show with your brother, man. That was a great show. God, Guns, and Automobiles, man. 2 million people a month. Oh, that was great. 2 million people a week. That was great. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a car from him. He needs to read this. 23 minutes in hell. Are we living in the end times? I don't know. The Bible says no man shall know I'm a guy. I don't know. But maybe it's time to seek things out. You don't like church? I get it. It's very tough for me to go to church after what I've seen behind the scenes. But you need to get with other men. You need to get with other women. And you need to hear the word. And don't lose that in your life. Okay? And as my delightful mom used to say to me, why don't you shut up? Keep me in your prayers. Love you. I'm not suicidal. They're really coming after me again because it's an election year. It happens. It happens in a censored communist country. It happens. I'm not going to kill myself. You hear me? Okay, as my mom said, shut up. I'm going to shut up.